Welcome to Soccer City. How's it going, everybody? Charlotte FC is the topic of the day. As we're some sad citizens here in Soccer City, Johnny Hayes, how you doing this morning?
I'm not sad. I'm feeling good. I've got a nice oat milk latte to start off my morning. I've got Spurs Fulham on deck here in a few minutes this morning, Danny. Another big match as well. Arsenal Chelsea.
Yeah,
coming up at 11:30. So it's a big morning of soccer. And then I've got the NASCAR Cup Series at COTA this afternoon, Circuit of the Americas. Super pumped for that. So it's a good Sunday, Danny. Do you think that at this point, 5 years into this project, I'm going to allow this club to ruin my Sunday morning? Do you think that I am going to let that happen? Absolutely not.
Definitely not. Definitely not. We're not ruining Sunday mornings in 2026. I will say your oat milk latte sounds delicious. I do have a little coffee here in my cup, but I had to make myself a little bourbon drink this morning, Johnny, to wash away just some of the bad feeling, because my day's not ruined, but man, Charlotte FC was rough last night. It's a 3-0 loss to LA Galaxy on the road. Season 5 starts with 1 point out of 6, from the first 2 road matches before we even get to see this team play at the Fortress. And Johnny, I love to see that smile on your face. We're live on YouTube. Welcome to everyone who's here watching us. Thanks for joining. I love to see that smile on your face because you're just a changed man. I'm not gonna say you were a curmudgeon in years past, but you've always been a guy that just kind of, like quick to call people on the shit. And now you just looks like so serene and just like this club can't hurt you. You've learned to embrace the draw, and a bad result early in the season. It's just soccer, man. We got to watch him play, right?
Well, yes, we did get to watch him play, but it was one of the worst first half performances in MLS history. Think about that for a second. It wasn't just a bad first half for this club, Danny. It was one of the worst first halves in MLS history. LA Galaxy scored 3 goals in the opening 13 minutes, something like that. I think it was 3 goals in 5 minutes here, and it was the fastest LA Galaxy has scored 3 goals in club history in a match. It was also, I think, only 6 times. Don't quote me on this one, but only 6 times in MLS history has a team scored 3 goals that quickly. So, putting it in perspective like that, it was difficult. And as much as I was hoping for a road draw in this match, at this point, Danny, it's 2-0, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, this club still has a chance to get a point on the road. And then it goes to 3, and at that point that Charlotte's not winning. But I didn't really give up on the draw until probably the 58th, 60th minute.
Yeah,
that's when I gave up on the draw. So I feel like I truthfully, the crazy thing is that we are a couple Christian Kalina saves and a couple better LA Galaxy finishes away from a shock 5-0, 6-0 first half. And when that happens, traditionally, managers get on the hot seat very quickly. I'm not saying that this is the situation here, but if LA Galaxy would have scored 5 or 6 goals in that first half, there would be a real big issue on Main Street.
Is it what I think the term they use across the pond is there would be an inquiry? there would be an inquiry into exactly the status of the manager and the footing he finds himself on, perhaps here. Yeah, no doubt.
I think that's the perfect way to say it. That there certainly would have been an inquiry, and the Z-Man would have probably had to have a conversation. I want to get your take on a lot of things this morning. The state of the squad, just in general. Obviously, first home match this coming weekend, but yeah, it was poor. It was poor, and I know you've got some clips as well, some post game clips from Dean and Westy. You've heard them. I haven't heard them yet. I'm kind of nervous to hear what
this is. One of my favorite things to do on the show is when I prepare clips and then I get to play them for you raw, your virgin ears. Get to sort of hear. But the funny thing is, John, I'm going to go ahead and predict, and I hate to set expectations here, but I'm going to predict that you're going to get the feeling that you've heard it all before when I play this first rip of sound here. We showed some of the goals that happened. We'll continue to show them and talk about them. We'll talk about match ratings. But here's just some some instant reaction both from Dean Smith and Ashley Westwood, who did not get the start last night. We'll talk about that. Here's the captain and the gaffer.
We turned the ball over 3 times and they scored 3 goals. And game was done pretty much. You can't give teams, a 3-goal head start within 13 minutes.
If we're going to give the ball away sloppy, and you're going to get punished. And listen, it's basic mistakes that we need to put right. But
we'd worked this week on defensive transition because we know that was going to be part of the game. And I thought we got sucked into trying to win the ball back too quickly. The first goal definitely affected us too much, and we're trying to put it right straight away rather than being compact like we spoke about and what we do really well at times. And because we went chasing the game, we got picked off.
We beat ourselves tonight. It wasn't to do with them beating us. We beat ourselves. We give the ball away, and it's cost us. And if you're going to do that away from home, it's in the first 15 minutes, and you don't expect to win the game.
A team can actually go one way or the other at 3-0 down, especially after 13 minutes. We didn't crumble after that. That's the only positive you can take.
No miscommunication. It's individual errors, so it's nothing to do with who's in there. We're a team.
We've shown we've had problems in both games on transition, defensive transition. It's something that we need to get better at. So, I'll own that and keep working on that.
He's owning it.
Well, he is Dean. First of all, a couple things. The lighting is right in that Dean Smith press conference because he looks like he's a ghost. Not just he has seen a ghost, but he is a ghost. That's number one. Number two is he is right about the statement. What happens after you go down 3-0? Like, does it get worse, or do you come together and play for pride? Which is what this team did, especially in the second half when Dean made 3 subs at halftime. But I do think that he's a little fortunate to be able to say that based on what I just said. It should have been 5 or 6.
Right.
After LA got 3, it's not like the onslaught was over. They had 3 or 4 big chances after that, Danny.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you lose 3-0 and your goalkeeper is still your man of the match because Kalina was making amazing saves. I got a rip of them called up here. This is after it's already 3-0 and LA's just doing whatever they want, dribbling in the box, working defenders.
Off YouTube here, Danny? They're going to kick us off for all these highlights?
No, they're not. This has been posted on the official Charlotte FC channel. I just ripped it from there, but I mean, I wanted to kick myself out of watching this game when I saw Klaus backheeling attempted trying to get hat tricks. It was embarrassing to just watch LA Galaxy just kind of have their way with Charlotte and do whatever they wanted. And Kalina saved it from being a 7-0, like you said, or 5-0.
Was that Klaus, or was it
that was
the OG Ronaldo out there, the Brazilian?
Right, exactly. They have about the same hairline, I think, sadly, but somehow that João Klaus is Brazilian. But
it's tough to speak after a loss like that, so I'm not going to be like heavily critical. I knew for a fact that Westy was going to be the guy to talk.
100%.
For sure after that one. But I do take a little bit of an issue with this idea that we beat ourselves.
He insisted it over and over again.
Yeah, which is fine. I think that's like an okay thing to say because there are mistakes that led to the goals for sure. But at the same time, Galaxy did well. So to not give Galaxy credit for showing up on a Saturday night on their home pitch and just taking it to Charlotte FC, to not give them credit for that, I think is thinking about it wrong.
Especially when they had just played a midweek CONCACAF Champions game with their starters. This was the second game of the week for most of those guys out there. And this one was, dare I say, easier pickings than the game against the Panamanian side that they played in CONCACAF Champions Cup. I mean, you talk about performances and beating ourselves. I've got the SofaScore match ratings. I know, Johnny, this is breaking news in Soccer City land. I just want to say, Johnny, I don't want to blow up your spot here, but I know that you have officially made the move from SofaScore to FootMob. You're a FootMob guy now in 2026, whereas before you'd been SofaScore. I'm sticking with SofaScore for the match ratings graphics. You can explain as much or as little of that as you want, but I do think the people should know.
No, I think that's good. I'm glad that the people know, and I'm glad that we've got these two companies basically battling it out to see which Soccer City platform is going to be sponsored. I guess, is it going to be the SofaScore folks, or going to be our good friends at FootMob, or is it FotMob? See, that's the thing. I'm not sure how to say it. It's FOTMOB, but choose your own adventure with that one. But let's see those play ratings again, Danny. Throw those back on the screen.
I'm calling them up. And then this gets you off camera, so you can start to keep an eye on the kickoff of Tottenham Fulham.
I'm getting my peacock sorted here. I've got it sorted just in time.
Right, we can't have you logging in on camera, But you see the 3 halftime subs, and we'll get Dean's thoughts on that in a minute. A debut for young Morrison Ajimong at center back. I question. I think we have to ask ourselves, John, when does Ajimong looked pretty good, and he when you talk about the second half performance of everyone, he looked the liveliest out there. He got himself a yellow card. His first action immediately at like the 46th minute was to force an attacker off the ball. And like as soon as the second half kicked off, I was like, shit, Morrison Ajimong's the best defender we have on the team. I can't believe that that this team did so little in the free agent marketplace to go improve its backline depth, but the bringing the guy up from Crown Legacy might give us something to hang our hats on with Morrison Ajimong. I wonder, with Privet, you heard Dean say he was shell-shocked, and I worry that, like, does he ever come back from this when all of a sudden a youngster comes up and shows signs of life in the position?
Yeah, I mean, it's really easy to look at this graphic, Danny, and just totally rag on Andrew Privet, but let's rag on Wilfried Zaha instead.
Do it.
It's a 5.7 there. He does absolutely nothing in this match.
Right.
Either does Idon Toklamati. Pep Biaus tried to make some things happen as well, but now we're at that 180-minute mark for Idon Toklamati, and he's done nothing. But it's really surprising to see that 5.7 rating for Wilfried Zaha in a match like this. It's almost how the hell did that happen? I mean,
it's comical.
At some point, don't you have to have a floor where you're not going to get rated below a 6 if you're a guy like Wilfried Zaha? Like, what do you have to do if you're Wilfried Zaha to be rated a 5.7? I mean, that means you got to have like an absolutely horrible game, considering Privet had one of the biggest howlers I've ever seen, and it was a 5.2.
Right, exactly. And
so
was at a 5.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. Like I'm just not going to rail on Privet. I think the club has done Andrew Privet a disservice. They did nothing this offseason. They threw him back out there, and he's just not the guy. And they already know that he's not the guy.
Yeah.
And Morrison Ajimong proved that in the second half. And it's a tough scene, I think, to have to be, only 2 matches into the season and to be kind of taking moral victories about a young center back looking good in the second half down 3-0. It's like that's really not what we need to be speaking about.
It's horrible.
Then again, he will start for sure.
Especially when the finger is more rightly pointed, as you say, Johnny, at Wilfried Zaha, the designated player, because it's about expectations. And like, we're not expecting Andrew Privet to go out there and win us games. And his big mistake happened when it was already 2-0 and we were chasing the game, and he's just trying to make something happen, and no one was really showing for him, So it's like he made a bad pass, but Klaus also had to jump on that pass. It's not like Ream was like flashing for him. So I mean, there's blame to go around. But
here's the thing. Sorry, Danny. I appreciate the comments here. NC Tiger Girl checking in. Poor Privs. Ream wasn't great. Byrne didn't help matters. That was kind of where I was going to go next, right? I think it's really easy to look at Andrew Privet and Tim Ream. I want to be as straightforward as possible when it comes to the analysis of Nathan Byrne and Harry Toffolo. And Harry Toffolo and Nathan Byrne did absolutely nothing for their center backs last night.
Right.
Not a thing. They were left on islands. Both those players were pushed way forward. Harry Toffolo was nowhere to be found, and Tim Ream was completely left on an island against Peck, who was like a bat out of hell last night. Really impressive to watch Gabriel Peck last night. I thought he was fantastic for LA Galaxy.
I mean, young player of the year in MLS in 2024, and he looked every bit of it for sure.
And that was Tim Ream had no help. Harry Toffolo was nowhere to be found on the defensive end last night. And he was nowhere to be found on the offensive end last night. I don't know where he was.
Yeah, he was just kind of out there. He sent a few crosses, if I called up his stats. But remember what we said in our preseason stream, John, about worrying about Byrne has always been that guy.
I got to interrupt you, Danny. There's the first match of the first goal of the match. It's Harry Wilson. It's
Harry Wilson's war.
Harry Wilson's he's on an unbelievable run of form for Fulham, and Igor Tudor and Tottenham have issues already. Danny, it's bad. I mean,
you know, up the Cottagers, man. I mean, I've always been a big Harry Wilson fan. I thought he was done dirty at Liverpool. Harry Wilson's a guy I wish he would come to MLS. You know, he's in that vein of the Kieran Dewsbury Halls and the Harry Wilsons and the John McGinns of just like guys I wish we'd see him in MLS. But sorry to see Spurs take an early.
I'm not looking for. Trust me, I'm not looking for apologies this morning. There's another goal as well early. Crystal Palace got one early on Manchester United, so keep an eye on that. We're monitoring. We're monitoring the situation.
Right, that's what you get at Soccer City. This is partially why we renamed the show Soccer City. Updated the brand is because we can be sitting here and we can be absolutely shoving dirt on the grave of Nathan Byrne and Tim Ream's careers, and then we can interrupt it to talk about Harry Wilson for a few minutes. That's what we do here. It's Soccer City. You got to keep your heads on swivels, but. As far as the commenters, we thank you because Byrne was no good. Look, K-Dog understands the assignment. He's feeling the vibe, you know. He's commenting along with the Premier League action.
It's a soccer Sunday in America, Danny.
Yes, exactly. But I love what you said, Johnny, about if what we're taking from this game, if the best thing we can take out of this is that we have a pretty good backup center back for 45 minutes who's young. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's the real Malanda or not, but he has earned himself a starting position. But Zaha's just wild. Zaha did nothing. Zaha's the one that I think needs to start taking a lot more of the brunt of this criticism, Johnny, because he's the designated player. He's the highest paid player. He's the superstar. He's the guy who has given himself license to yell at his teammates because he calls it constructive criticism. And he came across last night and he got in a spat with one of the opposing players. I think it might have been Klaus. I forget, was one of their attackers. It might have been Nascimento. I forget. But Zaha was he did nothing. And Pep Biel couldn't get anything going. And Toklamati, some of the biggest concerns I had about the team preseason were, what if Byrne is past it and doesn't have that recovery speed to get back anymore? And what if Toklamati's insane run of form that he had after Ajmong left last year doesn't rematerialize? And those two right now, we're heading down both of those paths.
I think Nathan Byrne is past it. I hope he's not. I also think Harry Toffolo is past it. I also think Tim Ream is past it. Yeah. I'm not trying to overreact, but that's the state of the back line right now. Mm-hmm. And whether Morrison or Ajmang is going to be good or not, Danny, I will tell you this: he is yoked. I mean, Morrison Ajmang is literally one of the toughest dudes in MLS at this point. I mean, for that reason alone, I'm putting him on the pitch. Yeah. He is an intimidating sight to see, and I think that Westwood not being in the match in that first half really hurt Privet and really hurt Ream, because if you paid attention to some of the games in Coachella, this is interesting. We haven't done any high level analysis this year, big picture analysis coming out of the preseason. I watched those matches, and
you did.
You saw it in the second half, Danny. Westwood drops back and really helps out the center backs in this tactical system for Dean Smith in 2026. And it was totally missing in the first half. Mm-hmm. And when Westwood got brought on in the second half, it started to happen again. You see him drop deep. You see him pick up the ball between the center backs, and you see him play out from there. And the offensive moves start from there. Without that, for Charlotte FC, Danny, there is no build up from the back. The center backs, both Tim Ream and Andrew Privet, don't have the ability to build from the back. And Westwood just gives them that firewall, that protective defensive midfielder right there. And so Privet didn't have that. Morrison Ajamang did. Mm-hmm. So yes, he looked better, but he also had some more support in that position as well.
Yeah, I mean, Westwood tends to just sit. I mean, this is the pass here we're watching. Just, he's looking for something to do. Ream's not really showing for him, as I mentioned, and Klaus jumps on it. It's a horrible pass, but it does take at least a little bit of effort by the striker. I think what you said is correct about the team not really setting Privet up for success. Westwood, he does play almost like a third center back at times, whether it's by design or just by instinct and by playing on vibes. He sits on top of those two, that center back pairing a lot. So I think it's a problem. NC Tiger Girl, she's the biggest Westwood fan out there, so of course she's going to agree with you big time on that point, Johnny. And
Westy was sick, right? Isn't it?
He was sick.
He's got whatever else in Charlotte.
He has
the sinus issues.
Yeah, the
rotavirus.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
he did manage to get a yellow. I did notice that Westwood he got himself a customary yellow even in his 45-minute cameo. Just went and like stupidly fouled Paintsel in the middle of the center circle for no reason. But yeah, the midfield's a mess. Dean talked about it. Let's listen to Dean again. Let's call up because he talked about the subs and why he made them and what he was seeing from the first half. And maybe we can glean something out of this.
My biggest problem was I felt we went and pressed at the wrong times. And with that, we ended up with a front four and two midfielders jumping and leaving too big a gap between, the front six and the back four. And, when you do that, they're going to find pockets of space, which they did. So I just thought it was the right change to change the two midfielders. Westy for his know-how on the game and understanding of the game, BB for his legs as well. And I thought it was better second half, but, at 3-0 down. And I've been in that and I feel for the players after 30 minutes. The other team get a little bit cock-a-hoop and they rest on the ball, take a few more chances than they normally would do. So it's a difficult position to be in for the players. So they were the reasons. Obviously, Priv, looked a little bit shell-shocked, a couple of mistakes, one that, caused the goal. And, Morrison gets his debut, and I thought Morrison did well second half.
There's a new Dinoism. The other teams get a little cock-a-hoop. Whatever that means. He hits on something. John, your analysis, as usual, is spot on. The game. You could be a coach sometimes, I feel, because, you really do a good job of, nailing what went wrong, and Dino echoed your thoughts. The transition was not there in the midfield, and it hurt the defense and the offense. When the midfield's not clicking on a soccer pitch, it hurts your defense and your offense. And Charlotte FC had really a whole lot of none of that either.
What's interesting is that I was up, after the match, just kind of scrolling what people were saying on social media, and I think there, some people that I respect that keep a close eye on this club and. Did some analysis of last night's game. I think one of those is Caleb Adams, right?
Yeah, it's Caleb Adams, of course.
Had worked for the club, and I think some of his, and I know he writes about the club as well.
Caleb seems to follow the club closer when he doesn't work for it than when he did. It's funny.
Which, by the way, I
locked in.
I kind of understand that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Because when you're at the club, you're kind of covering it through a prism, and it's not to say that you can't say what you want, but you just have to
You have editors.
You get a drink from the same water cooler that Zoran's drank it from.
The company trough, yeah.
And again, that's not a criticism. That's me saying I've been there. I work for NASCAR. I do content for NASCAR. Exactly. There's a limit to what I can and can't say about NASCAR because I work for NASCAR.
Same thing.
I thought he brought up some really interesting talking points last night. He said, my only hope, Caleb did, he says, my only hope is that this thrashing serves as a wake-up call to the team. Mm-hmm. I think the biggest concern in this match is not one of individuals. Defense, midfield, attacking lines all look disjointed. It's just the entire situation. And I'm bringing this up because I thought what Caleb did did a nice job of taking a big picture and saying how are they that bad this quickly? What were they doing in the preseason? Why doesn't it look why does it look so disjointed? And I thought finally Matthew Doyle, right? Mm-hmm. Who wrote for MLS quite a bit. Yeah, there's and he reposted something from Matthew Doyle as well. It says, meanwhile, Justin Hall, 17 years old, scores on an assist from Momente, New York Red Bulls, 16 years old. Meanwhile, Berkimas doesn't even make the bench for Charlotte. Embarrassing. So I thought that like there was some actual like big picture good discourse that came out of this match last night that wasn't just in the weeds about, oh, these player ratings are not good, they played poorly.
Right.
Like there's some big picture discord going out there between Caleb and Matthew. I just wanted to get your take on that conversation. I thought it was a good one.
Yeah, it's interesting. There are teenagers doing things in this league. There are teenagers all over MLS doing things. And we've been hearing about Nimfasha Berkimas for 2+ years as the next big thing. We've seen what he does for the U.S. men's under age group teams, the under 15s, under 17s. But at this point, I'm kind of in Doyle's camp. Let's get him on the pitch. Let's see what he can do. The Vargas Abada winger battle continues. Let's stick the kid in there and see if he can knock them both off their spot. Dean always talks about competition for places. I'm not sure that Berkimas is really getting his chance to be in that competition. I don't know what's going on in training. I'm not there all the time, so I couldn't say for sure. But
we just need to understand, Danny. I'm sorry to interrupt you. We need to understand what's happening with Nimfasha.
Right.
Like, why is he valued by a club like Bayern Munich, one of the best clubs in the world, the best club in Germany, but he's not valued by Charlotte FC to make an impact on the pitch? It seems to me like the only value that Charlotte sees in Nimfasha is dollars and cents.
Mm-hmm. He's been an asset that they've been grooming to sell his entire career rather than have an impact on the pitch. And as K-Dog Kiefer, great friend of the show, points out, he is, if there are 1 million Abada fans, he's one. If there are no Abada fans, he's dead. He loves Abada, but Kiefer's always going to make the reference that we're paying, for Abada to start against St. Louis and then not even get in the match against Galaxy. I'm not sure what happened there, especially when Tiger Smalls and Archie Goodwin both subbed in. So for Abada to just like be a completely unused substitute, a little strange for me. He didn't play poorly. I thought he was one of the better players against St. Louis. So I don't understand how he doesn't even see the field here. And Charlotte FC is just this team that like it still has never been in the 5 years. I was thinking about this last night as I was watching. At the 5 years we've been following this club and having this club as part of our lives, there's never been a time where we just like knew we could just go in and kick ass. Like there's been some blowout wins, the Daniel Rios game, when we get it's fun to have that big lead. But I was just thinking like it must be so fun to be a fan of LA Galaxy and watching them just do whatever they want and just watching them always on the front foot soccer. Balls to the wall soccer is a term you've used on this show. And it's like, why is Charlotte always, we're going to be pragmatic. We're going to try to control things. We're going to try to, make sure we don't get beat too bad. And we're never like taking it to the opposition as like part of our identity. It happens at times, but I've just never felt, and this feeling that I want to feel as a Charlotte FC fan of like, oh, our team's going to go in there and fucking kick some ass today. And we may give up a few goals, but we're going to score some goals. I mean, it's nice to have Kalina, and you need a good goalkeeper, I think, to become an elite squad. But, like, does any of that resonate, I wonder, with you, Johnny, or commenters about just, like, always, like, it's no fun to be a fan of the conservative, pragmatic team, especially when they're not even really winning.
No, I think most of that is right. I think I think you forget some of the matches that Charlotte has played at home where they come out, play really well in the first half, look like they're dominating, score 2 goals, look like they could score 3. I think that does exist at the club, and it only does at home, though.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist on the road. It never has existed on the road, and that's why we're rooting for road draws this year, because that's kind of what the situation is. We've got to figure out how to draw, and I think Saturday night against Galaxy was the perfect example of trying to figure out how to draw instead of getting absolutely smashed. But I think I would challenge you to just remember some of those nights at home when Charlotte came out playing really well on the front foot. Patrick Ajman causing real issues for opposing players. I mean, the bottom line is, Danny, think about it like this. It's like our best players our best players. And nice work on that, by the way. You've done very well before 9:30 on a
three fingers to brown, baby. Let's go. Why not?
I think like you could really make the argument that it's the best players are just no longer on the pitch for this club. Like Patrick Agyemang has moved, Adilson Malanda has moved, and those were the two best players on the team.
Yeah,
and they haven't been replaced. So now you get this.
Yeah, I mean Malanda, best player in club history at this point. I mean he's a legend, but he was not replaced. That's the other thing. Like as much as I love the Z-Man, like I have to start and could have done this more in our preseason previews, but hope springs eternally and try to be optimistic. But now after 2 results of the team just looking completely at 6s and 7s in the back, you're like, well. And our only sources of relief on the horizon are Morris and Agyemang, who is yoked, but is has 45 minutes of career experience to his name, and Henry Kessler, who's hurt, and we don't really know what he can do. And he got dropped from St. Louis last year, who was a horrible defensive team last year. So it doesn't look good, and you just wonder, like, why wasn't there more of an effort? Like, you lost Malanda, who's one of the best defenders in the entire league, and you proudly proclaimed him as such, and everyone at the club, got on the social media mission of why isn't Malanda an all-star? I can't believe he's not an all-star. Dean's talking about, Malanda should be in the all-star game. I can't believe it. He's the best defender in the league. Well, you sold that guy and you didn't do dick to replace him. So, I mean, now we're here giving up 3 goals in 13 minutes. Dean, he can't help stop himself from saying 13 minutes. We've listened to 2 Dean cuts and he's said the words 13 minutes like 5 times in those 2 cuts because he's obsessed with it. But it's like, you don't have a back line.
He called Andrew Privet shell-shocked. I actually think Dean was shell-shocked.
Yeah.
I do. I think Dean got shell-shocked on Saturday night. That feeling of being down 3-0 and looking up and seeing that he's 15 minutes into this match and he's flown across country.
He's like 2,000 miles from home.
Just like he was shell-shocked.
Yeah.
Andrew Privet was not the only person that was shell-shocked, and you could see based on how Dean was speaking after the match that I'm not sure he was ready to understand what happened. And my guess is, they took the red eye home last night. They probably arrived here in Charlotte within the last couple hours. Is my guess.
Yeah.
I think that everybody's starting to settle in and get back to their homes. Obviously going to have a day off today. I'm sure Dean's going to grind on some tape. Players have a recovery day and spend some time with their families and get back at it tomorrow for the home opener. But
he said he was going to watch the game back on the plane ride. So imagine if a cross-country flight after a demoralizing performance could be even worse. He had to watch it again. So for those of us that stayed up late to watch that debacle, at least we didn't have to watch it twice like Dino. But
he gets paid a handsome sum to do that.
Yeah, 100%. And
his plane ticket's totally.
He's got to fix it. Austin FC's coming in here. They're a team that has brought in reinforcements to their side. They've always been a pretty decent at worst kind of club in MLS since they started the year before us. It might become a little bit of a crutch. Johnny, but the thing, and you kind of predicted this, it's all about, we just got to get back. We just got to get home. We got to get back to our fans. Our fans will lift us. But it was predictably more of the same when it came to looking ahead after last night's loss.
The players love playing at home. We have that home advantage like most teams do in this league, but, you've got to still perform.
We look forward to playing there. We know when the fans turn up, we usually turn up. So we need them. We're in coming off the back of a real poor result, and we need the place bouncing, and
our fans will turn up in their numbers, as we know, and we have to go and put on a performance, and if we do that, we'll be okay.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's like really nothing that you can say after that match. And to the journalists here in town who got on that virtual press conference and asked the questions, more power to you. I think it was a tough job to have last night. And I think those press conference answers about coming home was the only thing that you could say. But I do think that
Shout out NC Tiger Girl who was at that press conference.
Dean got a yellow as well. Yeah, I just think the vibes are bad. Vibes are real.
The vibes are so bad, dude, and it's 2 weeks into the season.
Bad.
Like we waited months for this, and the vibes are so bad, and it does come down to a home match to fix it. I feel, and I'm going to have some commentary this week. I'm not a huge fan of what they've done with the supporter section. The vibes are not good. The vibes have the potential to be bad at the stadium, and I'm going to be locking in on Saturday, ready to go, partying uptown, like having a good grand old time like we do for a Charlotte FC party. But there's potential of bad vibes walking in that stadium because of the changes that they've done to that supporter section. It's an absolute joke. We'll talk about that more this week. But like, I had this. This is another thought I had, John. During
what changes did they make to the supporter section?
Let me see if I can show it visually. Let me see if I can call it up. But basically, they shrunk the 200s supporter section to be much more narrow. So it used to be that there was like 8 sections in the 100s that were supporters, and then 8 sections behind them in the 200s that were supporters.
Yeah.
But they have now changed the
entire Mint Street end was supporter section.
Right, and now it's in the 200s. It's just a very thin strip of.
So you can buy tickets in the supporter section now that aren't supporter.
Yes, tickets that used to be supporter section are now being given to groups. So that's where like group sales will be, and it's also where like they're also you saw the $26 tickets announcement that came out this week.
Is that because the supporters tickets weren't getting sold because it wasn't being filled?
No, it's actually for a much dumber reason than that, Johnny, unfortunately. And I'm about to show you a graphic representation that I think is going to make things pretty clear. But basically, you remember last year the big hullabaloo and hubbub over the beer showers and people getting hit with beers and whatnot. And the sort of quote unquote solution to fix that was they decided that it was everyone down in the 100 section was fine. They were not the guilty parties, but everyone in the 200s were the evil people that were throwing beers. And so they've limited it. Basically, they've made it small, a smaller section in theory to, promote safety or some BS like that. But it just limits where we
do you mind putting a coherent thought together for me on this one?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to make a graphic at the same time, so stand by for 1 second because my point is going to be made in a very good way. If you just if I can just get.
I guess I'm a visual learner. You're trying to teach.
No. I'm going to have a visual for you that's going to blow your mind. It's absolutely going to blow your mind. Like that song says, "Didn't I do it, baby? Didn't I do it, baby?" I did blow your mind this time. But
what are people saying in the chat? I think. I'll call these chats. The 26
says he's going to throw more cups.
I got it. Focus on your graphics, Danny.
All right, my graphic is made. My graphic is made because what you're going to see, John, is they've basically given a middle finger to the supporter section.
I get it.
They've turned the supporter section into a middle finger. I hope the setup and the painful rambling was worth to see this visual because basically everything that's blue at the bottom used to be blue at the top and was all supporters together. Now they've squeezed us 200s folks into this thing ostensibly because we were evil and throwing beers down on the poor innocent folks sitting in the 100s. So basically it's turned into a war of supporters versus supporters. It just makes me worried about the vibes, John. I'm worried about the vibes when we go in there on Saturday. I'm hoping for the best, but I'm vigilant about potential downsides.
Thank you for that graphic. And it was a great payoff, by the way. I enjoyed that. And now I understand better because I had somebody at work this past week say, "Hey, I got tickets for the Inter Miami match." And I said, "Oh, cool. Where'd you get tickets?" And they're like, "Behind the supporter section. Are those good seats?" And I was like, "I don't know if you can sit behind the supporter section. What do you mean?"
Right.
And now I understand.
Now you can.
That someone bought a ticket in that area, which to me, can we call it like supporter section light?
Skinny supporters, the skinny supporters.
Yes.
Skinny supporters.
That's where you do. That's where they. It's like I don't understand that move. Maybe it'll make the club some more money. Who knows? But it's a shame. Typically when I go to the supporter section, that's the area that is now not supporters. That's where I usually sit.
Right.
So
That's where I find my seat as well, because I don't get into the stadium early enough to get down low, because I'm at the Lowe's bar giving David Tepper $20 a pop to drink Wicked Weed Pernicious. It's ridiculous. And Kiefer, not to put too fine a point on it, it's a middle finger because we're saying fuck the fans. Yes, Kiefer, that was the point of my graphic. Yes, for sure.
I'm a visual learner, and I can also learn by reading direct copy as well. So thank you to the both of you for educating me about what the heck is going on, because there's always something. There's always some sort of drama in the supporter section. But now I understand. We'll see if it impacts the atmosphere. I don't know. I think we'll get a good crowd on Saturday. It looks like the temperatures are going to be warm. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see the match. I'm not going to let this road 3-0 no-show kind of taint what is a super long season. And at the end of the day, if this is just one bad result in California, I think we could have all have predicted that would happen based on what we've seen out of this club. So time to move forward and see if another Algernon can save the club.
Right, exactly. It's like the Highlander, that old movie, The Highlander, where there can be only one. Like one Highlander dies, a new one rises. Like one Ajamong is sold, a new Ajamong rises at Charlotte FC for sure.
It feels very poetic. It doesn't it feel poetic? It does.
Well, the announcers kept calling him Morrison yesterday because he has Morris. He has his first name on the back of his jersey. I don't know if he prefers to. I'll have to try to find out. Hopefully, the club will give us some guidance there. If he prefers to be called Morrison as a reference or whatnot, or
my guess is yes.
My guess was, but I also kind of guessed like the announcers weren't really that familiar with him, and they were just going with what was on the jersey. So I don't know, but I'm going to call him Morrison since it's on his jersey. So that's what we'll go with. I'll make the same.
Moe, who is it?
It was Mo Adu and Keith Costigan. Excuse me.
Man, it's just getting worse for Spurs now. Fulham in again.
Right before 30 minutes in. A lot of goals in the EPL. Alex Iwobi, the former Arsenal man, doing Spurs in.
Yeah.
Brutal.
It's bad. It's bad. And the reason why I'm like jumping in, I've had conversations with people in and on this show and off this show and friends in the league who are different fans of different clubs, and they just don't get it. Like, I understand when people don't understand my point about Tottenham, but it's like I watch every single minute of every single match.
Yeah.
And I know that other people don't, and that's okay. So when I tell you something, just remember it's coming from a place of watching every single minute of every match. It's not coming from a place of, oh, I'm a supporter of this team and I'm just giving you a hot take. No, I'm telling you, this is a bad situation for Tottenham. This is a real relegation battle. Spurs are by far one of the worst teams in the league. By far. And I've been saying that for months. And it's now 2-0 on the road in a London derby. This is not going to be a win. And it's West Ham. It's Nottingham Forest, who is down 2-1 right now to Brighton. That match is huge. If Forest can pick up some points there. This is real. This is absolutely real. And I know people don't want to think about that because it's Spurs, a Big Six club. How could they potentially get relegated? Like, I'm showing you, I'm telling you now, this is how. This is what the road looks like. This is what it looks like. Turn it on. Look on TV. This is what it looks like when a big club goes down. I know you don't see it very often. I know you don't want to believe that it's happening, but this is what it looks like. And it is like watching a train wreck. You cannot look away because it is unfathomable that Spurs still do not have a win in 2026. And look at the date. Look what date it is.
March.
It's March 1st. Happy March 1st for you, Danny. Welcome to spring.
Yeah, it feels great. I'm a big fan. We were having beers yesterday, Johnny, just a little inside baseball, and and we were just reveling in just the sun was out, and it wasn't even like as good as it's going to get, but it was pretty nice. It was one of the first real nice days out, and it was great, and it feels good to be in March. Here's just another on the fly graphic for you, Johnny, just to represent what you're talking about for the visual learners out there. Tottenham does find themselves really in a fight with West Ham, especially if they take 0 today here on this live table.
Yeah. So West Ham, Spurs, and Forest. Those are the three. And I think Leeds will manage to stay out of it. I think Leeds could ultimately end up in the conversation, but it's 4 for 1.
Mm-hmm.
Leeds, Tottenham, Forest, West Ham for that 18th spot. And it sure is going to be interesting to see how this plays out over the next 2 months, because the end of the season is great. Can we look at other MLS scores before we get out of here?
Yeah, of course we can. Yeah, hang on one second.
I don't think I have much left in the tank as far as talking about that match.
No. But it's sad because yesterday I watched a lot of MLS. The league was good yesterday, and it was a there was a lot of good results. There was a lot of good results for Charlotte, and unfortunately, those all became kind of pointless in the end. But I'm trying to find the best way to show this. I think
it's all good. I mean, we could just look at the scores and discuss it.
Mm-hmm.
How
about that?
Thanks, Danny.
Make it a little bigger.
Yeah. I think first of all, my one takeaway was if you look at the San Jose score, I believe they beat Atlanta. Is that right?
They did. Yeah.
2-0. Timo Werner.
Yeah.
An assist in that match.
His debut.
Huge win for San Jose. I think Atlanta. That's no wins in 2 for Atlanta to start the year.
Mm-hmm.
Same as Charlotte. Is that right?
Yeah. And unfortunately, we don't play Atlanta for a long time. They have a chance to get better before we play them, but right now they're in the same muddy boat as us.
What other matches stuck out to you yesterday and or players?
I thought KC holding Columbus to a draw was good for Charlotte. I thought Nashville.
I'm not asking what's good or bad for Charlotte. I'm saying what matches yesterday piqued your interest and why?
I watched the first match of the day. Chicago-Montreal was really good. Chicago went down a man and then scored 2. I thought Jaquil Marshall-Ruddy played really well for New York Red Bulls. I'm going to continue to make I'm going to continue to make it about Charlotte. Yeah, he started for them, and I believe he had an assist on their winner against New England.
Wow.
Red Bulls, that's a squad we have to face in 3 weeks at the Fortress. So keeping an eye on them. They look really good. Cade Cowell, who's come over from San Jose, went to Mexico for a little while. Now is back in MLS with the Red Bulls. Looks good. So a little concerned about them. Minnesota had a great tifo. Shout out to Minnesota, the people that are standing there, strong there. They had a tifo that sort of channeled the Rebel Alliance from Star Wars. And if you know anything about what's been going on in Minnesota this year, you can definitely understand why that was. And I thought it was really well done. I mean, Nashville getting no result in Dallas, getting a draw and looking bad with their 3 superstar attack. I think Nashville is going to be a team that I'm always interested in every week because of Mukhtar, Espinoza, and Surridge, and how dangerous and dominant they can be. Surridge did not play yesterday, so that may be part of why Nashville struggled. Houston is just bad. I wish we could play Houston every week because they're just so bad. And LAFC signed this guy just a couple weeks ago, Steven Eustachio, who played for Vancouver back in the day and then left MLS, and they brought this guy back, and he scores a freaking wonder goal for LAFC. So
I meant to mention Vancouver as well. Vancouver, Thomas Muller.
Yes.
Vancouver just absolutely smashed Toronto last night.
Yep. Walker Zimmerman, the big center back signing that Toronto made, which some people said Charlotte should have been in on him, he gave up a PK early in the first half, and Muller converted it, and that sent Vancouver on their way. So they look good. They look like they're back at it again. The Western teams look tough, and it could be. I don't know. Austin FC plays today. If you're looking for something to do later today, Austin FC, DC United at 2:30. That's Charlotte FC's next opponent, so you can watch that match and get a little bit of a scouting report if you're interested in. Philly NYC is going to be a good one. Orlando Inter Miami. That's always a classic. And Messi has a history of sitting out games against Orlando. I have some friends that are Orlando fans, and they get really pissed about that. So we'll see if he plays this one. But yeah, MLS off to a strong start. Unfortunately, Charlotte FC is not.
That's all right. Only 2 matches, 2 on the road. I think a draw, 1 point out of 6 sounds bad, but you get 3 points on Saturday. It's not that bad.
Like we said in our preseason preview, the campaign, these first 2 games were always kind of like, these were the frozen February fixtures, and these were kind of set off from the rest of things. And now it's time to get going on a long home stretch. We got 5 home matches in a row, so protect the fortress, defend the keep. And just because we do love the people, the tifos watching the show, I can't agree with this sentiment, but I do understand the passion behind it. Football Edit says, get Privet out of my team. No, we love Andrew Privet. We support Privet. We want to bring him back to the heights that we know he can achieve.
Yeah, I mean, he's a squad player. I think getting Andrew Privet out of your team, while it could feel like that would be a good thing after last night, I don't think it really matters. Like, you got to deal with the fact that right now this club has not a lot of center back depth, and figure out a way to see what Dean Smith can do tactically to fix it. Unfortunately, I think what you're looking at is, and I'll end with this, Danny. This is it. You know how this offseason Dean talked about how he wanted Charlotte to be a team that's better in possession, a team that can dictate a game, the team that could move the ball forward and press a little bit. And I think all those things were well-intentioned. I just don't think it's going to work out. And I think that they're going to revert back to having to support their defensive back line with defensive midfielders, and they're going to have to play counterattacking transition soccer. Like I just don't think Luca de la Torre can by himself come into this team and turn Charlotte into this possession-based tactical side. Like, not happening. Let's just kind of sit back and pounce. That's I think what's going to work for this team.
I mean, I could not have said it better myself, so I won't even try. Great job, Johnny. Great to talk and work through this one with you this morning. Enjoy the second half of Tottenham Fulham. Maybe you guys.
Oh yeah, we're coming up to halftime. This timing worked out perfectly. I'm always down to hang out on Sunday mornings, live stream, talk footy. Yep. I think this is good. I think it takes a lot of the what I want to avoid, Danny, is like the total overreaction episodes. I think those will come. Like, if things get bad enough, Dean Smith will get sacked.
Yeah.
If Westwood won't play again for the club, they'll sign another striker because Idan Toklamati couldn't get it done. Like, these are all things that could potentially be on the horizon. And when those things, and if those things happen, then we'll talk about it. But for right now, I think it's good to hang out on a Sunday morning, have a nice cup of coffee. Cheers to you, and hope you. It looks like you're ready for another one here.
Yeah, shit. I might have to. There's a song. There's a band. There's an old '60s, '70s Southern rock band called Wet Willie, and they sing a song called "Keep on Smiling," and the chorus says, "Keep on smiling in the rain, laughing through the pain. Keep on rolling with the changes, and keep on smiling." So I'd love to see you doing that, Johnny. I think you got the right attitude. And despite a painful result, I cannot wait for this Saturday at the Fortress. It's going to be so fun.
We'll see what happens. Big match against a big club for you. I think that's that. You have to make it personal on the show, Danny. Like, you're an Austin man. You're a Charlotte man. You know, you've got 2 clubs that I think you feel fondly about playing each other on Saturday here in town. I think let's put that back. It's like, think about it like this. CLT, I don't know how to say that.
Yeti Clan, the CLT Yeti Clan, yeah.
Oh, CLTFC Yeti Clan. Sorry, that's my dumbass. Yeti Clan. It's good to see the Yeti Clan again. Think about it like this. We're both super hungover, and we're not really sure what happened last night. Do you know what happened last night, Danny?
No, I got another song for you. Sublime. What happened? Wake up in the morning, clock says 1:30, and I have no sunglasses as I stare into the sun.
Beats
I
me
have
up.
no fucking clue.
I'm going to go ask some other friends, figure out what happened last night because I'm not quite sure.
We'll see. We'll see you this week. We'll see you at the Fortress. We'll see you uptown. We'll see you drinking beers. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna be doing this. I think these Sunday morning live streams are gonna be a little bit of a fixture here in this early part of the season. So thanks to everyone who jumped on with us. And
thanks for hanging out.
Yeah,
great to see you all. Have a great week.
I think that's it.
Cheers. Great to see you, Danny. Have a great Sunday. Come on, you Spurs, for the crown, baby.
For the crown, baby.